Good afternoon, ladies and gents. How are we doing today? I hope we're all having a good one. I hope it's been a wonderful week, and if not, it's the weekend, so hey, it can't be too bad, can it? So, you guys, I put up a story on Instagram asking you what you wanted me to do today, and we had something to do with CNC pricing and something to do with making mistakes in the workshop and how we deal with them. So, the guys that voted picked making mistakes and dealing with them in the workshop, so that's what we'll do. I'll try and keep it under 5 minutes. I'd like to ramble sometimes, so we'll see how that works out. I think it's a difficult one, right? I think the most important thing that you can do is admit that you're going to make mistakes and things are going to go wrong, right? If you're trying to be a perfectionist about everything and pretend that everything's going to be okay and you're going to get everything perfect and it's going to work first time, you are lying to yourself. I do this for a living and I still make mistakes, and sometimes I make the same mistakes time and time again, and we'll get onto that later. But yeah, you've got to accept that you're going to make mistakes. If you can accept that things are going to go wrong and try and look at it as a bit of a learning opportunity, man, it makes everything so much easier. If you want to be one of these guys who gets angry, throws stuff around the workshop, and look, I've done it before, you know, I try not to do it, but I have done it on occasion. It doesn't help anything. It might make you feel a little bit better for the minute second that you do it, and then you feel like a bit of an idiot for doing it and losing your temper. Oh, I do anyway. Do you know what I do? I smash out some press-ups. Genuinely, press-ups and squats, and then that gets rid of that anger, don't it? And it helps focus the mind, you know, square yourself away so you can crack on with it. But, I mean, that's me. There's the other thing to remember is there's that 80-20 rule. Jenny and Davis, if you've not seen them on YouTube, they've got an Instagram as well. Go and have a look at them. I'll try and tag them. The 80-20 rule is really, really, really important. Basically, it means don't spend 80% of your time on 20% of the project. I hope that's the right. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know. But yeah, that's really, really important, right? If you're sitting there, we make a lot of signs, and it's really easy. When you're holding the sign right up this close to your face, you're like 6 inches away, you're going, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And then when you go to install it, it's like above a door, or it's like it's in the middle of in the middle of somebody's grass or something like that, like out the side front of a hotel. It's never going to be seen, right? Nobody's ever even going to get that close up to it. So you've got to make sure that you're not spending a ridiculous amount of time on what is a tiny, tiny, tiny part of the project. I will put this out there. I am a bit of a bugger for this. Michelle, the missus, is always having a go at me for this because I am a perfectionist. And do you know what perfectionism brings in a workshop? It brings a miserable person because you can't be a perfectionist. Nothing, like I said, nothing's going to be perfect. You're not going to get it right all the time. And sometimes you just have to accept that it is the way that it is. And you know, the funny thing is I've had projects where I've been tearing what little air I've got left out, right? Losing, I just get so wound up, so frustrated with it. And I'm still like, I'm not happy with it, I'm not happy with it, I'm not happy with it. And I'll Shelly will be like, it's fine, it looks great, let's show it to the client. Client turns up, absolutely gobsmacked, love it. And they don't even know what the deal is with it. They can't even see why I was so frustrated with it. Oh yeah, and on that, don't point out your mistakes, because that's something that I've done as well before. Client turns up, they're super pleased, they think it's amazing what you've created for them, and then you go, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Like literally, honestly, who does that help? It doesn't make you feel any better. They then think that there's something wrong with the product that you've made them. It's just a stupid thing to do all around. I don't know why we do it. It's something I'm trying not to do. Yeah, it's important. You know, you can always, I guess the other way to look at it is you can always make a feature out of it, right? So there's a couple bits of rubbish I come out of all the time. So you make a feature of it. And a lot of people do that, and it does work. You know, we have that sometimes, especially when we're making bits of furniture. You know, maybe you change the direction that the looks go in, obviously with the client's permission. And that works out quite a lot. And then the other one that I say is the difference between a master craftsman and a normal, like a general bod, normal craftsman, is a master craftsman. He still makes mistakes, but he knows how to cover them up, right? So he knows how to sit there and say, oh yeah, well we'll just sand that out, or we'll just fill that in, and nobody will ever see it. unless you're going through it with a fine tooth comb. And who genuinely really does that? When was the last time you bought a bit of furniture, put it together and went, oh yeah, awesome, and then went and picked out all your faults? Well, maybe I do, but that's just me, right? And the most important thing from all of it is that you learn from your mistake. So when you screw up, I read something the other, I can't remember what post I read. I was on Instagram and it said, the most important thing is that you learn from the mistake. You don't necessarily need to remember the mistake, but you need to remember the lesson. So if it's, you screwed up, the whole measure twice, cut once, and you didn't do it, and so you cut the wrong bit, then next time make sure that you don't necessarily have to remember how much you screwed up, but just make sure that you remember to measure it properly. Sand it, something that I made this table and we sanded it with the random orbital sander, and I don't know if you've ever noticed, like when you're staining a piece of wood after you've sanded it, a lot of the times when you stain a light colour piece of wood with a dark stain, you get all the swirl marks from the sand on it, which is like awesome, right? Because you've made everything perfect. You've gone to put the stain on it, then you put the final clear coat on it, and it ruins it, or the wax or whatever. So now I make a point of going through my grits, working all the way through, getting up close. We'll wipe it down with some white spirits, raise all the fibres. That little bit of extra time in the beginning makes things so much better in the long run. But it's all about understanding the screw up that you did before, not necessarily dwelling on it, but learning from it. And yeah, oh wow, we're like 7 minutes nearly. So we'll try and wrap this one up. But so accept you're going to make them, because you are. Everybody does, and people who say that they don't make any mistakes is a liar, or they have way too much time on their hands, and they just have the opportunity to make everything perfect. Don't be a perfectionist, right? So it's accept that you're going to make them. Don't be a perfectionist. Remember the 80-20 rule, and learn from your mistake, right? Most important things. I'd love to, if you've stayed here for the last 7.5 minutes, I'd love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think to what I said, whether you think I'm right, wrong, talking rubbish, everything's welcome. And give us a heart, like, all that sort of stuff, and you'll have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. You're gonna take it easy. I'll catch you soon.